Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having a lovely day. Now, this is going to be a little bit of a review of the champion Sasquatch. Now, one thing that I want to point out is that this is the first ever time I've had an opportunity to access a 6-star, and especially at rank 3. This is part of like the content creator beta, where we're able to kind of access a beta and then road test a lot of champions in a lot of scenarios. Some stuff we're restricted to, some stuff we have access to. And I don't know if I'll be doing 200 signature rank 3 6-stars every single time I do a video like this. So I just want to point out that this is maybe a one-off that I do this as well, because it doesn't really represent what you as a player will really be getting. But there's some facts and kind of things I want to talk about with this champion. Now, if you do want to learn a little bit more about the champion, go to the champion spotlight. But basically, the developers are saying that this is theoretically how you're meant to play the champion in order to maximize damage. So saying here that once above 5 stacks of rage, each time an additional stack is gained, Sasquatch has an increased chance to enter Wrath. The longer Wrath of Tanarak takes to trigger, the longer it will last. So there's no real downsides if it doesn't trigger right away. During Wrath of Tanarak, you'll be getting a ton of power. Throw medium, light, medium combos into special 2s and watch those ruptures stack up nice damage. Additionally, if Sasquatch is awakened, it will be unstoppable during heavy and special attacks, allowing him to spam opponents with little risk. Now I'm going to showcase that on screen at the moment of just like a fight. Now, obviously being a rank 3 6-star, you're going to see more of an extensive damage output from this. And as well, the extent of SP2, which obviously I did to try. I thought, well, you know, we'll give this a go. Maybe it's a case you can spam this a lot more extensively to improve the rupture damage. And that is one of the key things, is that obviously, as I said, ruptures are the main thing. And obviously the method to kind of like get more out of this will be a case of looking at things like the medium attacks, which is 30% chance to inflict a rupture debuff, dealing 1,365.5 physical damage over 17 seconds, plus 70% chance during Wrath of Tanarak. So obviously the main point of it is get to Wrath of Tanarak and then look to maximize the damage from there. And that's what I largely did, obviously following the scheme of things with being in Wrath of Tanarak, and as well with the SP2. The first 2 hits remove the opponent's rupture debuffs, gaining 3,826.2 attack rating for each rupture removed. This increased by 50% if activated during Wrath of Tanarak. So activate Wrath of Tanarak, get a lot of ruptures on the enemy, throw the SP2. Something that first of all worked out quite well, and then after that I was like, obviously maybe the 6-star rank 3 doesn't really maximize or doesn't showcase the kind of more emphasis on hard playing style, or the what would be actually realistic for you as a player who's watching this video at the moment to get, which would be more than likely a 5-star, and then maybe down the line you want to put in some signatures. But basically the signature ability works out as follows. When below 40% of max health, getting struck by a contact attack has a 70% chance to activate Sasquatch's healing factor, passively regenerating 5% of missing health over 20 seconds, which is really helpful. But during Wrath of Tanarak, Sasquatch becomes passively unstoppable during specials and heavy attacks, and opponent defensive combat power rate is reduced by 70% when struck by these attacks. Now, that's the other thing. If you get low on this champion, then you're able to regen back. And this is something that I'm going to come to a really, really important point. And that is a synergy of working and a team between Man-Thing, having as well King Groot, and having Sasquatch means for one hell of a powerful Incursions team. Man-Thing gaining so many different positive things from doing like poison damage, I think having fury buffs as well, but King Groot more so because of regeneration, armor break and fury, and Sasquatch because of the regen factor side of things, not to mention the fact that, you know, he doesn't cast any buffs, which can be handy against certain nodes, and let's face it, sometimes you go against bosses and that just have these most horrible nodes on the Incursions. So say if they had Spite, then obviously it doesn't look like there'll be something triggering up. Yes, okay, if you do Dexterity, then yeah, that does ping up, but if you're very careful, it won't ping up, and you can be quite aggressive with this champion. Either way, you know, I really did enjoy this, but again, maybe this is sullied by the fact that I'm using a rank 3 6-star to showcase, but still, it's a lot of fun. There's a good damage output. If you can build up those ruptures on enemies, you can get into the Wrath of Tamara, and then you can smash in an SP2, you will do a good amount of damage as well. Maybe not the 90,000 that you might see from like just one crit, which is part of a SP2 chain of attacks, but still, it's all good. Now, Sasquatch can be used with a whole host of different mastery setups, and I would say that maybe it could be fun to have suicide masteries to damage output a lot more. However, though, a straight mastery setup that utilizes stuff like Mystic Dispersion, maybe as well looking at recovery, but also looking at other elements of health recovery, could be fun combinations. But I think the way that you would have stagger and nullifying that, you know, maybe Mystic Dispersion would be somewhat better than anything, and especially with getting to SPs a lot quicker, then maybe that could be a good option. But it's good enough power gain in any case from Sasquatch. And one final thing to remember is the SP1. SP1 has this nice little kind of linking thing with Ruptures. So each hit refreshes the opponent's Rupture debuffs. This can trigger into the opponent's block. And that's good in any case, depending on how you're playing this. But the fact is, those Ruptures, you don't want to expire. You want to keep them as long as possible. So keeping the Ruptures on, which is something that maybe I should have done more in the particular fight, is to make sure that method is to keep loads of Ruptures on, doing lots of damage, and then obviously building up to an SP2. But you know, whilst you're not in Wrath of Tamarack, is to build up those SP1s to reapply or kind of keep refreshed those Rupture debuffs. All in all, I like Sasquatch. I thought this was a very fun champion. This one is one I'd like to get for many reasons. From content grinding, number 1, and damage output. Number 2, for the extent of regeneration, which I do love. I think that's a nice, always a fair thing and fun thing. But as well, the utilization for stuff and incursions down the line, a synergy pair up with the likes of King Groot and as well as Man Thing, and creating like a really powerful synergy group in between them. Yeah, lots of things I'd like to use this champion with, and down the line, maybe and hopefully I actually end up picking up a Sasquatch and putting it to my roster. But what are your thoughts? Put it in the comment section down below. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, please hit the like button. Check out some of the other content I've recently done on screen at the moment, and I'll see you very soon, maybe for a live stream later on today.